Hi, welcome back to What Changed Your Mind. Last time I was talking a little bit about anxiety. So what happened? What happened that made me go from thinking that life was good and everything was easy to this sucks and I don't want to do this anymore? I was one of those moms that loved being a mom, just loved it. I was like one of those Martha Stewart moms that would have my kids out, planting seeds in the yard and watching them grow and doing brain quest games, inside and making cookies. And I loved it. And about 9 years into my marriage, we left California and built a house in northern Utah. I had two little boys at the time. We moved up there, and it was so much fun having this new adventure and being somewhere new. We had a huge backyard. We had like a half-acre backyard, and I just was enjoying life. And shortly after we moved, I hate telling the story because it's exhausting and it takes me to a place that it's like you're there when you're retelling the story. So I actually wrote it. I'll probably just, if you really want to know all of the details, you can go read it on my blog. But long story short, my husband, after nearly 10 years, ended up losing his job and developed a gambling addiction that he hid really well. He started lying to cover up everything. He owed tons of money. Called me and said he had been in a car accident and that the car was totaled. Come to find out that never happened. He just sold the car for money. Just crazy, crazy stuff. We nearly lost our house. He would try to make me feel like I was crazy because none of his stories ever added up or made sense. And after years and years and years and years, dude, cancer, he had cancer. We nearly lost our house. Crazy, crazy things, like all rolled into 4 years. We ended up getting a divorce, and all of this crazy stuff happened right around the time that I had my third son. Things started to not add up and not make sense, and it took a toll. I went from, like I said, believing that life was good, even when things were hard, everything was going to work out, to slowly, after 4 years of just struggling to keep a roof over our head and feed my family and try to make my marriage work, I started believing that life was really hard. In my core, life was hard, money was hard to come by, you can't trust anybody, people are liars, right? Like this person that I had married and loved for so long ended up just stabbing me in the back over and over and over and over again, and my mindset shifted, and nothing that I did after that felt really good. No matter what, I couldn't seem to feel happy again. And when you go from believing that the world is good and that people are good and that there's a higher power looking out for you, and your mindset shifts to, I'm just here to pay bills and die, really? Is this all there is? Nobody's looking out for me, it's just me. You can't trust anybody. When you shift to that, it's a pretty horrible life to live. It's a pretty horrible place to be. And that's where I found myself. And I was really depressed and really angry, even though I didn't realize that I was angry. I knew that I didn't feel happy, but I didn't those thoughts, they creep in, and they're so sneaky that you don't realize that they're there until you really start paying attention to your thoughts. And so went through my divorce. I'll drop a link to the blog if you really want to hear all of the details, because it was pretty horrible. And I left even some stuff out that my kids don't need to read it, But yeah, I fought and fought and fought and fought, and I knew that there was something to having a positive mindset, but I couldn't make it work for me anymore. And at some point, before my divorce even, there was a film that came out called The Secret. and I'm sure a ton of you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's a good watch. It leaves you feeling uplifted and motivated, and there was something about it that really resonated with me, and I knew there was something to it. Even though I couldn't quite make it work in my life, I just knew there was something to it, and that would stay with me for years and years and years. After my divorce, my boys and I moved in with my mom and dad, and we've been very fortunate to be here with them. But one of the things that people always talk to you about when it comes to having a positive mindset is to start a gratitude journal. Look for things to be grateful for. Now, oddly enough, I have always considered myself an extremely grateful person, but after years, and then after my divorce, let me just side note, after my divorce, things did not get easier. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I made it through the hard part, I made it through the hard stuff. If I'd have known how much harder it was gonna get, holy moly. And so I was left feeling like, I've told you guys I grew up in a religious home. I just felt like I had been, like, God had forsaken me. He'd forgotten about me. I was just here struggling by myself on my own, trying to feel happy again and give my kids everything that I wanted them to have. And like I said, we're very fortunate because my parents have let us be with them, and they have a lovely home. But I still felt so crappy. And, to be raising my kids in my parents' house when I had been raised so well, I didn't handle it well. So, yeah, it seemed to get worse and worse and worse for me. And the worse you get and the more depressed you are, the more you attract those kind of people into your life. So I just kept reliving horrible relationships and getting into a job that I thought was going to be, this is going to be the one, and hating it, and just, gut-wrenching experience over gut-wrenching experience. I couldn't seem to break through and feel like me again. And that made me really mad because I was trying so hard. I was listening to positive things. I was, writing down my gratitude, things that I was grateful for. And one of the differences that I noticed is that even though in my head I knew that I was grateful for these things, or that I should be grateful for certain things, I couldn't feel it. I was so numb. I couldn't feel the gratitude, and that scared me because, like I said, I had always considered myself an extremely grateful person, but I couldn't feel anything. I was just so over life, and so over the struggle of being a single parent and feeling crappy because I felt like I let everyone down and was living in my parents' house, and I had lived through this horrible marriage that took a toll on everybody and affected everyone financially, and my parents' retirement and so many things. And trying to dig myself out of that was damn near impossible. And I was trying. And then a few years ago, I went through a really horrible breakup, and it was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like, that's it. I'm done with this. I am done with whatever's going on. It's got to be me. I've got to be attracting these horrible things into my life. I am, the lowest, not the lowest, I am the common denominator here. Everything keeps happening to me. So it can't just be that the entire world sucks, right? I've got to be doing something wrong here. And I really started to focus and pay attention to what I was thinking and how I was thinking. And it was really hard. When you start to become aware of what your thoughts are, and you catch the negative thoughts that are going through your head, it's hard. But like I said, it's doable. I've definitely worked on it and done it. I'm actually going to upload a snippet of one of my first classes that I taught on mindset, where I talk about how when I finally did become aware of how bad my thoughts were and I first started trying to meditate, it was pretty hilarious because I would start out trying to quiet my mind and there were so many thoughts fighting for the spotlight in my head that by the time I had finished my meditation, I was like, like all tense and tight because I was trying physically even to keep the thoughts out. So I'll probably upload that little segment after this, but just, I know people have been through worse than me. I know they have, and just hang in there. There is a way for it to get better. It takes practice, it takes vigilance, it takes becoming aware of yourself and how you interact with the world, but it is absolutely doable. And I'm really excited to share some of the stuff that I've learned because it's changed my life. So, and like I said, I've learned it from so many different teachers, and I'm grateful you guys are here and you're watching. I'll drop a link to the blog that I wrote about what happened to me within my marriage if you're interested in reading it, and then I'm going to upload that segment of my class, so hopefully that'll help a little bit as we take our journey together. Have a good day. Bye.